Happy snow day, everyone, unless, of course, you are listening from Florida. Laws of Purim. We're on Tuf Reish Pei Vav, 686, Gimel 3, 686 3. Yesh Misanin, Shloisha Yamim, Zecher Latanis Esther. The Shulchan Aruch says there are those that have the custom to fast for 3 days to remember the fast of Esther. We know the story of the Megillah that Esther commanded everyone to fast for 3 days. So there are some which have this custom to fast for 3 days around Purim time. I myself do not have this custom. The Mishnah Berurah says, Shloisha Yamim, Perish Sheni Chamishi V'Sheni Achar Purim. So it doesn't mean to fast 3 days in a row, this custom, but rather to fast the Monday, Thursday, and Monday after Purim. Okay, so if you have that custom, go for it. Mishenichnas Adar Marbim B'Simcha. When the month of Adar enters, when we enter the month of Adar, you should increase in your joy. It's a joyous time of year. We were saved on Purim, but the whole month of Adar is joyous. Umishi yesh lo dinim akum. Someone who has a court case with an akum, yishbod ba'adar, they should have it adjudicated in Adar. Okay, another halacha. Yecholim b'nei ir letakein b'haskama u'becherim aleim v'alaboim achreim la'asos Purim b'yom shenasa bo nes. He says that if there was a city that a miracle was performed for the city, they can institute a Purim for that city. They can make not a holiday, but a celebration every year that everyone's required to celebrate to thank Hashem for the miracle that happened to their city. And he says anytime, Dirshu here quotes the Mishnah Berurah, anytime you have a meal to thank Hashem for a miracle, a public feast, a public meal to thank Hashem for a miracle, it is called the Sudas Mitzvah. It's considered a meal of a mitzvah meal. And people do this. There are many people who individually had miraculous things happen to them, or they were saved from some horrible situation. So every year on the day they were saved, they make a public meal to publicly thank Hashem for the miracle that happened to them and for their salvation. Now, the Mishnah Berurah is here saying that even a whole city can do it. If something, if the whole city was saved for whatever reason, they can also make this type of thing. Umisha nasa lo nes ba'adar v'nadar lasos Purim. Now, let's say somebody had a miracle that happened to them and it was an Adar. So they make a neder, they take a vow that they're going to make a Purim, a personal Purim, to commemorate the miracle that happened to them. So if it happened in Adar, when a leap year comes, when do you celebrate this personal Purim? So we know in the Jewish calendar that a leap year, while in the secular calendar a leap year happens every 4 years, we add a day. When a leap year happens, in the Jewish calendar we add an entire month, because to keep the lunar calendar at pace with the solar calendar. So the extra month we add another Adar. So we have Adar 1 and Adar 2. So when we have 2 Adars, we celebrate Purim in the second Adar. Now he's saying, what happens if you were saved through a miracle in the first Adar? When you have a leap year come about, which Adar do you celebrate your personal miracle? So here he says you should celebrate it in the second Adar, unless your miracle happened to you in the first Adar of a leap year, so the next time it's a leap year, you will also keep it in the first Adar. Now, the Dirshu points out here, it appears that there's a stira in the Mishnah Berurah, because later he says you should always keep it in the first Adar, but here he's saying that if a miracle happens to a person in the first Adar, then he should celebrate it in subsequent years when it's a leap year on the second Adar. Now, how does one celebrate, besides making a festive meal? The Dirshu quotes Mishnah Berurah somewhere else that says a person on that day should also give tzedakah to people who study Torah. And he says he should say that he's giving tzedakah, that it should be in the place of a Todah sacrifice. So during the times of the temple, if someone was saved, had a miracle happen to them, they could bring a sacrifice called a korban Todah. So now we don't have a temple anymore, so we can't bring that sacrifice. So one gives money to Torah scholars saying that it should be in the place of the Todah sacrifice, and he says he should also say the parsha of Todah, the part in the Torah where it describes the Todah sacrifice. And he says also it's good to take care of any needs that the city might need to take care of. And he concludes that on that day, every year that a person was saved, he should sit and contemplate about how thankful he is for Hashem. Because we know in Judaism that showing Hakar Satov, to be thankful for good things that people do to us, is very important. It's a very important character trait that we strive to achieve. So all the more so how important it is when God performs a miracle for us, even changing nature. Chas v'shalom, if someone has an illness and God saves him, he should always thank Hashem. If we have to thank people like that, all the more so we have to thank God with all of our ability and recognize that everything comes to Him and how much we are indebted to Hashem. Okay, hope everyone stays warm and stays safe. Have a great day.